backstory isn't the most exciting when it comes to Cullen origin stories, but the bigger-than-life persona he presents in the novels more than compensates for this. There are still surprising details to be had in his human origins, including the care he showed for his family, but the most lovable Cullen also had his flaws. Before we continue, I'm Riley and this is Otherworldly Fiction. On this channel, I discuss books, fantasy, and offer the occasional writing advice. If any of these topics interest you, or you're just vampire crazy, hit that subscribe button. I post every Friday. Born Emmett McCarty in the year 1915, Emmett was later changed into a vampire in the year 1935 when he was 20 years old. While most of the Cullens have several degrees, Emmett, even with a superior vampire brain, was never the academic type. Like his siblings, he's graduated high school several times. But when it came to attending college, he never actually completed a course. Growing easily bored, this college dropout quickly moves on to the next shiny subject. Luckily for Emmett, the Cullens have the extra cash to blow on tuition. His vehicle, a Jeep Wrangler suited for off-roading, also reflects Emmett, being as large and imposing as he is, though Emmett, with his playful manner and mischievous sense of humor, isn't as intimidating as he might appear. Emmett's story opens in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. His heritage was a mix of Scottish and Irish, and he was the wild youth in a large family. The impulsive young man found friends as rowdy as he was, and together they would drink, gamble, and flirt, though settling down was out of the question for Emmett. Despite his antics, Emmett was responsible when it came to providing for his household. He was a skilled hunter and comfortable traversing the woods alone. Yet for all this, even he wasn't immune to nature. He'd always kept his family stocked on game, but he was no match for a furious black bear. The bear wounded Emmett severely and would have killed him had Rosalie not intervened. Wounded with only sound to go by, Emmett feared another bear had arrived to fight over what remained of him. When the sounds of growling had stopped, Emmett felt as though he were flying. Forcing himself to open his eyes, he saw Rosalie. Such was her beauty that he mistook her for an angel, and on being brought to Carlisle, he mistook the doctor for God. When it came to the pain of transformation, his checkered past also misled him into thinking the burning sensation was a result of being cooked in hell. The journey Rosalie had to make with a bleeding human in her arms, fighting to resist the temptation of the blood, lasted for more than 100 miles. Rosalie asked Carlisle to change Emmett, and the doctor complied. Emmett was relatively calm about becoming a vampire. He adjusted well, until it came to human blood. Emmett struggled with abstaining. His continued lapses compelled the Cullen coven to move frequently. Emmett even encountered humans whose blood sang for him, making them impossible to resist. Ever the responsible one when it came to his human family, Emmett left a small fortune outside the door of his former home, that they might in some measure be compensated not only for his loss, but for the labor he could no longer offer them. Emmett had a happy ending, marrying Rosalie not once but several times over the years. After all, Rosalie loved an excuse to be the center of attention, and Emmett was willing to do anything for his angel. Sometimes the couple live on their own apart from the rest of the Cullens. Emmett's backstory isn't as elaborate or full of twists as those of his other siblings, but his outgoing personality and awkward jokes make up for this. Personally, I was surprised to hear he had such a responsible side as a son, even as I was shocked to hear how much of a bad boy he was when it came to revelry and women. What surprised you about Emmett's story? Do you wish there was more to his tale, or are you more interested in learning about another character I've discussed? Sound off in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thank you for listening, and happy reading.